I took my sons to the Lake County Forest Preserve's Dunn Museum. We had a half day off, but most of the schools in the area didn't, so we had the whole place to ourselves, and my sons were really excited to see it. As you see, you come in and there's a gift shop. They've got some really nice stuff. I ended up buying some things. There's a place to have snacks. They have a vending machine. You could pack a lunch and turn it into like a half day thing. But I mean, check out this dinosaur. My kids were actually kind of freaked out. They wanted to go by it really fast. He's cool looking. I mean, you kind of want to touch him. But here's what's so awesome about this museum. It really helps you think about like your specific place in time now and what it was like in the past. So many museums, it feels like something's kind of nebulous from the past. But here you've got things that are from this area. You can see my son liked that fossil. He wanted to touch it. And there's so many things that you can touch and think about. All the ancient animals that were living in that time, from the mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers and all these wacky things that my kids just were nuts about, thinking about the teeth. And these are interactive. This is a museum meant for, really, it is meant for kids to look at, and there's a lot for adults to see too, but I think they really target people who are interested in learning. So if you have, like for me, my 10-year-old, super into like dinosaurs and thinking about the past and all that good stuff, and that's exactly what this museum has. My 5-year-old, obviously learning how to read, can't read, but as you can see, even from just the first part of the museum, there's a lot of food for the eyes, from bones and fossils and teeth. It's like, this is a little boy's paradise. So like I said, they've got little movies throughout. My kids like, obviously every kid seems to like screens. My kids like those little movies. So they kind of take you right through time, and they have, like I said, those ancient animals, and then they move into native peoples that lived. And I really like that they think about the native peoples, and they let the kids kind of explore how they lived there, and they had little toys from the past that kids could play with, how they heated their spaces with firewood and having a campfire. Obviously my kids love campfires, and thinking about camping is just basically amazing. They love that kind of stuff. They like to learn about the past. They're both really into history, especially my 10-year-old. I like how they definitely dealt with Native people with respect, and I appreciate that. From there, we move on to it says the American frontier, but they talk about specifically Northern Illinois, which really grounds some of this information for my kids. So I really appreciated that. Many times you go to a museum, it's just kind of nebulous, but to think about how it was in the past in our same area is really, really valuable for my kids. Especially this little schoolhouse setup from the past. I think it's really neat for kids to think about the past and how other little kids lived, and I like how they incorporated that. Like I said, they got all these little interactive things. You can touch the screen and think about things and go through that. From the American frontier, they moved to the Civil War. For us, we have a relative that fought in the Civil War, and so we talk about, we can kind of ground that in personal family history. So that's something they really enjoy thinking about. He was a Wisconsin volunteer. So they have some of the uniforms from the past, and after this, they move into talking about trains. And of course, that's so fun for the kids to think about. And it says Waukegan, which is in Lake County and to the north by the water. You can see they have a train table. My son likes that. How perfect to have a train table and talk about trains. If you've got sons or girls, daughters that like trains, this would be a great place for you to go. I like and appreciate all the hands-on, and then look at how cool that brick wall looks with the windows. Just really nicely done, and the ambience is really great. As you round the corner, you can see that there is a boat. You kids can go on that. That was actually at their old facility as well, which was at a old farmhouse that they had converted into a museum. So this is way better because there's more space, it's not as cramped, and it's been designed as a museum versus a farmhouse that turned into a museum. Now, this was an inventor from Illinois, and I apologize, I forgot his name. If you know it, you can tell me in the comments, but my sons really liked that movie where they talked about this inventor. So as we move on from there, there's another movie station. Now that's for like a longer film. We didn't watch it, but I liked the setup there with feeling like you're in a forest. It really kind of feels like that, and my kids like that too. We kept going. They'd have some memorabilia, local memorabilia from Illinois, Northern Illinois. We kind of skipped through that. And I really like that this museum was named after a woman who was a real big person in the preservation movement. So how cool is that? Hope you can visit here soon.